With Phoebe's help, we made it to the heat lamp. The bussigator warmed up, and pretty soon it was moving again. We followed Phoebe outside. We were free. Suddenly, a pile of nearby rocks started moving. But they weren't rocks. They were alligators. "Do something, Miss Frizzle," Phoebe yelled. The Fritz pulled some more levers, and soon we all turned back into kids again. The bussigator changed back into the size of a regular bus. But now it was a giant lizard. Phoebe climbed aboard. Just as we were about to escape over the fence, the strange man in white came running after us. He carried something covered by a sheet. "You forgot something," he said, pulling off the sheet. "Liz's habitat," we cried. Miss Frizzle shook his hand. "Thanks, Harry." "You know him?" Phoebe asked. "Harry Herbst is the one who built Liz's habitat," Miss Frizzle said. "It just needed a few repairs." "I run Herb Haven," Harry added. "It's a luxury spa and restful resort for weary, worn-out reptiles." "So you weren't going to stuff Liz?" Arnold asked. Harry laughed. "Hardly. But we did make sure she had enough to eat. It wasn't difficult because reptiles often go for weeks without eating." "Miss Frizzle, why didn't you tell us this was a good place for her?" Phoebe asked. "Miss Frizzle, why didn't you tell us this was a good place to be?" Phoebe asked. The Fritz smiled. "I started to tell you, but I just love it when you figure out things for yourselves." "Miss Frizzle." Letters from our readers. Dear Editor, what a story! Do you really expect us to believe that there's such a thing as a spa for reptiles? I suppose you're going to say you just made it up so you could show what it's like to be cold-blooded, right? And that handling reptiles like Harry did in the book is dangerous in real life too, right? And how come Liz isn't always looking for sunlight and shade to keep herself at the right temperature, like other lizards do? I suppose you're going to say it's because she's a magical lizard, right? Signed, Hot Under the Collar. Dear Hot, you win our award for most cold-blooded letter of the month. The Editor. Dear Editor, I just thought you might like to know that reptiles are not the only cold-blooded creatures in the world. Amphibians, fish, and insects are also cold-blooded. In fact, only birds and mammals keep warm from within. Your pal, Wyatt Herb. Dear Wyatt, your letter warmed my heart. The Editor. Warm-blooded creatures like me and you don't have to worry about regulating our own temperatures. Our bodies do it for us automatically. But if you were a cold-blooded creature such as a reptile, you need to move from place to place to keep yourself at the right temperature. Nothing makes a herb as happy as when the temperature is just right. Normally, cold-blooded animals do a pretty good job of staying at just the right temperature. But if for some reason it gets too cold around them and they can't move to a warmer place, they might bury themselves under leaves or find shelter underground, kind of like hibernating. How else are you different from a cold-blooded animal? Take another look at Harry Herbst's list on page 10 to find some ways. Can you think of anything else that makes you different? Miss Frizzle.